talking with the interim authorities in Venezuela and saying, look, we've blockaded your oil. You're not going to be able to sell any oil and continue this criminal enterprise, or you can work with the United States. The money's going to flow into accounts. Of course, they'll get greater oil revenue than they were getting before. And then that money will be funded back to Venezuela. And now we've got nice aligned incentives.
So that from earlier today with Maria B. That's the Energy Secretary Chris Wright talking on Fox Business. Big meeting at the White House tomorrow. Wall Street Journal reports the Trump team is hammering out a sweeping plan to control Venezuelan oil for years to come. And control was the word that J.D. Vance used with Jesse last night. Mike Summers, president of the American Petroleum Institute with me now. Sir, nice to see you. Good morning, and thank you for coming back. I don't know if you thought you'd ever see this day. I want to show you a graphic of the world, basically. And to our viewers at home, look in the bottom in the red there. You see $303 billion for Venezuela, the largest presumed oil reserves in the world. But the U.S. has got a lot, too. Why do we need Venezuelan oil?
Well, first of all, reserves are not production. We know that there's a tremendous base of oil in the country of Venezuela. But one of the things that's most important to remember is the United States industry has pretty much moved on from Venezuela oil since 2007. In 2007, both the assets of ConocoPhillips and of ExxonMobil were seized by the Chavez regime. And since then, what we've seen in the United States is really a boom in production. We were producing only about 5 million barrels of oil every single day in 2007. Remember, that was just at the beginning of the fracking revolution. And when we left Venezuela, what you saw in the United States was a tremendous boom of production in the United States. Today, we're producing about 13 million barrels of oil a day. And also since then, we found more oil throughout the world. We're producing in the country of Guyana. That's both ExxonMobil and Chevron. We're producing more in the state of Alaska. We're certainly producing more in the Permian Basin here in the United States and in the Bakken in North Dakota. So we have energy security in this country now. But it is important that for future reserves that we look for other places. So I compliment the President of the United States for taking this bold action because we know we're going to need a lot more oil far into the future.
Okay, let me get to a couple things here. The shale boom is extraordinary. It really changed America. Changed the world, I think you could argue, too. It's about, what, $56 a barrel now? The president's price is $50, so we're not too far from that. What's the message from the industry going into this White House meeting? When these companies could be spending billions of dollars for a very long time into a country that is far from settled, sir?
Well, the most important thing that the president, and I think Chris Wright certainly understands this based on everything that he's been saying over the course of the last couple of days, is that there are going to be big requirements. There are going to be parameters that have to be put in place before there's a significant investment in Venezuela. One, we have to establish the rule of law. This has been a socialist regime for 25 plus years that has seized the means of production for oil and gas, particularly in the most important region of that country, the Orinoco Belt. So we need the rule of law reestablished. We need capitalism to flourish in this country. And fortunately, in this country, there is a history of democracy prior to the Chavez regime taking place, 25 plus years ago. So that's one of the most important things. The second thing is we need security guarantees.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
Yeah, the second thing is we need security guarantees. This is a country that's very difficult to operate in. That Orinoco Belt that I mentioned, you're essentially operating in the jungle, in the Amazon jungle in Venezuela. And we know that a number of guerrilla forces have taken control in that area. We need security guarantees before there's going to be significant investment. But I will say, I think there's going to be tremendous interest if we can get the rule of law established, if we can get changes in policy, and second, if we can get security guarantees. I do think there's going to be tremendous
I want to squeeze this in. Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, throws a lot of stones, and this came out yesterday. Watch.
What the administration is talking about doing is taking Venezuela's oil at gunpoint, selling it on the open market, and then using that money as leverage to micromanage the country of Venezuela. The plan moving forward looks like a disastrous repeat in some ways of the same kind of military debacles overseas that Donald Trump told everybody he was never going to repeat.
I'm almost out of time. I want to give you a chance to answer that. Does the administration need to defend a comment like that or push back against it? And I'm just trying to read between the lines here. Is the current administration in Venezuela, newly sworn in, are they cooperating with the U.S. government?
Well, we can only say what the President of the United States is saying, is that they are cooperating with the United States government at this time. But we're going to need, for future investment, we're going to need guarantees on what policy and what security is going to look like in that country. American oil and gas companies can be a source of stability for the country of Venezuela for years to come if we see that significant investment. But we need help from the federal government, and I'm confident that Chris Wright and the President of the United States are going to provide that kind of confidence that we're going to
Okay, sir, thanks for coming on. It was $2.80 a gallon on Long Island, New York. Been a long time since I've seen a number that low. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's a big, important meeting. We'll follow it. Mike Summers, thanks for coming on today.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.